Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Doom in 2016. We were in the middle of the Lazarus facility on our way to check out the Helix artifact, or the Helix stone. And on our way there, we might just pick up something interesting, something that's a staple to the series. And in the meantime, we will grab an Argent energy cell, and it looks like continuing to go down the armor path. At this point, I'm committed, and I may as well max that out. There are a bunch of other secrets to platform towards down here, but none that I care about too much. Oh god. Oh god. We're just gonna get up in this tube. It's been a little bit since we dealt with a lost soul. I remember them being a little bit more common. Oh, we can see our buddy, the field drone, on the other side of that. Okay, so how do? Get up here. Whoa, that was... The acceleration on the second jump changes as well, due to, our increased air control, which is turning out to be less control. Double jump, then forward. Okay, so now we have to navigate this hallway towards the opposite shaft so that we can get to that field drone buddy. No, 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 chill out. Decent. That ambush is really cruel. I'm gonna turn that off for a second. Oh god, some of these openings you can fit through and some you cannot. So I don't think we get lifted up to where the drone is. There's another one of these shafts further down the hall, but you can turn the ventilation on or off, and if it's on, you will be lifted towards the ceiling. Where do we turn this one off? Right here. Oh god, I can't pass through this. Even if I crouch? No, that's really annoying, actually. Am I going up? Oh, we will get to the bottom of this. Or the top of this, as it were. Okay, so this path splits off, left, right, and center. We cannot go back down. At least not the way that we came up. So if we veer off here to either the right or left, I think, you can drop back down. And there's even some armor waiting for you. Oh, I was not thinking about the layout of this. I was mapping this visually in my head. Yeah, it's just the opposite side. We fall down the opposite shaft. Oh, we can get... I don't... mini turret, or mobile turret, I mean, is pretty fun, and it's a pretty cool upgrade for the chain gun. And now we don't have a wind-up on it. But there is a split second that it takes to convert from normal chain gun mode to the mobile turret. Yeah, that burst of acceleration on the second jump that we got from having so much more mobility in the air is really tripping me up. Now that we are done with that sad saga of me running around for 2 minutes, not figuring out to jump down, let's continue back up and finally down that hall. So left will take us back down. Right. Oh, right's also progression. Oh no, I think this is my mistake. I think if we'd gone forward at the junction, we would have also fallen back down. We can double check that in just a moment. Whew. Level layouts are hard sometimes. Even when they're really, really obvious. Yeah. Just going back down that way. So you aren't locked completely out of that if you mess up the first time. Or the first several. Now let's play with the mobile turret just a tiny bit. Look how fast that shoots through ammo. But it's so destructive. And it's very, very cool looking. It's one of the cooler looking weapons. And it deploys from the center. There actually is a classic weapon option in the menus that will center all of your weapons. But I find it really, really hard to adjust to. It's the old school way, but I have spent so long not using the old school ways that now I can't get used to it again. It's the same way with how I am with like analog sticks and D-pads now. Like even for 2D games and side-scrolling platformers and stuff, I can't go back to using the D-pad for those. Even though that's what I grew up on. Even for those games, I will still use the analog sticks. In modern ones anyway. Or even if I'm playing like Mega Man X on an emulator or something, I will still bind my... Ah, nice. We're getting there. We might get this by the end of the level. I will still bind the 6 as the D-pad. So left on the stick would be left D-pad and so on. But now there's no excuse to be playing it on an emulator since they have re-released the X Collection again. And really the only version worth buying is the first one, the first Mega Man X Legacy Collection, because it's X1 through 4. I mean, I love X5 and X6, but not enough to also pay $20 for a bundle that has 7 and 8. Luckily, this one does not take as much time to finish off as the Super Shotgun upgrade. And what could this burst of green plasma be all about? Well, we've test-fired it twice. From 2 different locations, and now we have to come in here, and we're just gonna casually pick up Frank, and we're just gonna carry Frank around. We've acquired the torso. And we're gonna bring Frank just for a nice, leisurely stroll. We're gonna bring him right over here, because we need his retinas. Oh, well, just one, actually. Yeah, Dr. Peters is gonna let us into the lab where we see this beautiful BFG. We're gonna hang out here for a second.
Expulsion to commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So this is why we hang out here, but we're not jumping up to the top of the container just yet because of that. We shoot out each of these red bits. And if we didn't, yeah, you see, if we were standing atop the container for too long, feeling like we were clever for beating the system and not having the floor fall out from underneath us, the lasers on the ceiling would have finished the job. Really devilish little trap there. And now we have the most devastating weapon in the game, the BFG 9000. The big fucking gun. This is gonna one-shot all non-bosses. If you look at the bottom right, you can see 3 green pips. next to the red pips for the chainsaw, so it's another one of these special weapon types with its own unique and rare ammo. You'll see occasionally glowing green globes now. And, ooh, we can get... No, that's going to go up to 6, so we'll be 1 off, I think. Yeah. We could start working on the mastery upgrade for that as well, so it won't stall out. The visual design for the new BFG 9000, by the way, is half classic and half based on the one from the Doom movie that starred The Rock. What was it, the biofuel gun or something? No, we can't say fucking in Doom. Was that movie PG-13? Was it? I feel like it was. That's so dumb. Anyway, the BFG is a staple weapon in Doom and in Quake. It's also the name of a Roald Dahl children's book. Big Friendly Giant. This trial, I think, is a little bit tricky. Certainly trickier than the last one we did in this level. There we go. You just have to get a feel for how much you can charge the gun, the pistol, without accidentally killing them outright. And it's a little bit under halfway, I think. Somewhere between a quarter and halfway. Yeah, about 5 o'clock. So, nice, easy challenge. And then we just have a little bit left of the level. And we will certainly get our chance to show off the BFG coming up. I think the room full of Possessed is a showcase room for it, but it's more valuable to use that room just to pump up the mastery stats for your other weapons. Just pad those out and get the upgrades going. Same with right here, actually. If we make good, efficient use of this space... Yeah, we actually managed to get 2. We can get another one, I think. That didn't pop. Oh, and now we're stuck with a hallway and 2 pinkies. Great. Great. Perfect. That is about the best that could have gone for us. And we're still not at the intense part. Oh, hi. And there is a gore nest in here. And this is the site of a pretty intense fight. You know, the gore nests are actually pretty thoughtfully considered because A, they telegraph that a pretty major encounter is coming. And they're there so you aren't blindsided. But also, B, they give you time to really consider your environment, where pickups are, where power-ups are, and just really get a lay of the land, because taking advantage of your mobility and your surroundings is often just as important as your aim and your weapons. Also, I love getting to point stuff like that out, because game design is really hard, and a lot of things are subtle, but everything is deliberate. There was a reason behind every decision that was made. And it's fun to work backwards and reverse engineer it and ask, okay, why was this decision made, and what was the thought process, and how did this improve the game, or how did they think it would improve the game? It's fun to ask that about the more, like, subtle elements. Like the gore nests here, they had to be placed deliberately, because otherwise enemies would just spawn in once you entered an area, right? So they had to have gone, okay, this doesn't feel good if this happens and people can't catch their footing, So how do we solve this? Why don't we give them control over starting the encounter? I'm gonna grab this now, since we're getting later into the fight and starting to heat up. Oh, I forgot how ridiculous this is with the quad damage. It's so good! Everything just melts. Like, it turns you into a magician. You just make things disappear. Doesn't matter if you're shooting weak points or not. Jesus, it's so fun! Yeah, so they had to come to this conclusion of like, okay, well, we want to give them control, the players, over starting the encounter. And then the devs, they would have had to have come up with multiple things to try and settle on. The gore nests being the one that felt best in keeping with the overall design philosophy. But if you're playing, you're probably not ever thinking about how deliberate that choice was to implement that.
Lockdown disengaged.
And that's actually really good in a way. The design is invisible. You aren't seeing the seams. That means they did a good job.
Alert. Lazarus service.
Yeah, we're not quite done with this fight yet. As soon as you call the elevator, part 2 starts.
Demonic presence.
So we're definitely going to see that BFG in action once again. And one shot of Baron of Hell with it. Ooh, so good. And we'll just chainsaw down the other. Since we had a bounty of chainsaw fuel and BFG ammo.
Disengaged.
Am I? No, I'm mistaken. I already got the other one. Also, we got introduced to these portals in this fight, so that's cool. And that's it for the Lazarus facility, or at least this section of it. That is going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.